Innovation, imagination, wonder. These are just some of the words used to describe Dr. Harvey Passes. Dr. Passes explores interesting people and ideas that will stimulate you. He questions the people who develop, create, and employ novel concepts in business and everyday lives. He especially loves to speak with successful people. How did they do it? How can you do it too? So let's join Dr. Harvey Passes in his quest of wonder and curiosity as we watch Dr. Harvey Passes Presents.
I am just chomping at the bit. I just can't wait to get going. We got a great show for you today, and you know one of my loves is wine. I love the culture, I love the different places it comes from in the world, and I love the people involved with it. Wine is a terrific cultural experience as well as a gustatory, pleasurable thing to do. So having said all that, we got so much to do, we're going to get right down to it today. There is an individual who I consult with when I want to get some new wines. And I speak to this individual because he tastes wines from all over the world, and he's very knowledgeable on it. This individual has been involved in the importing part of wines and the distribution part of wines. He's worked in the retail part of wines. He is also a consultant for restaurants and other institutions that look to create wine lists. In other words, Ted Clark, who you're going to meet now, is a very knowledgeable wine person. And you'll learn more about why I had him come down here. First, let's welcome him. Ted.
Dr. Passes.
Great to see you, buddy.
Great to see you, sir.
Oh, it's terrific. I always love talking with you. And the reason why I had Ted come down here is because Ted is so knowledgeable, and I'm always just so impressed with everything that he has to say. So what I did was this. I said to him, you know, let's do a show together because you're so great. And he says, great, I'd love to do that. So I said, what are we going to do? And I said, there's so many things. Why don't we try something interesting that I can't remember anyone ever doing this in all the magazines either. I've never seen anyone do what we're doing today. And that is, we're going to take a grape, the Pinot Noir grape, which you're going to learn about. And the Pinot Noir grape, we're going to taste it from 8 different regions in the world, how the same grape tastes as it travels all over the world and it's planted. So, without further ado, let's begin. The Pinot Noir grape. Tell us about the grape. Red, or is it white? What is it?
It's red, and it's grown all over the world, most predominantly in Burgundy, in France, is where it began.
Right.
And it's big in California, and it's big in everybody's taste buds now because of the movie Sideways.
Right.
Movie Sideways, they told everybody that Merlot is out, Pinot Noir is in.
Which is ridiculous, but anyway.
Everybody is buying Pinot Noir.
Like crazy. Like crazy.
It's
amazing, the power.
It is amazing.
Well, because of a silly movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not getting into that. So, let's have some fun now.
Okay.
First, I see that you've got these wines in a special order. Let's try the grape, and let's taste it from the first wine. Could you pass that over to me?
Sure, absolutely.
Great. Thanks, Ted. Okay, so now the first wine we have, it's very interesting. It's from a company called Turning Leaf, and it's the 2005 vintage, and it says Pinot Noir. See if I can get a close-up of this. Maybe see if my cameraman can get right in there. And there's a reason why my finger is over here, because it says PFALZ, false. And that area certainly is not the United States.
No, it's not.
Where is this from?
It's not from California. It's
Right.
from Germany.
From Germany.
German Pinot Noir.
So that's interesting. I would never dream of tasting a German Pinot Noir. In a million years, I wouldn't think of that. I should have had a napkin here. So you know what? We can just we'll leave it like this. Okay. So its billed and it says Germany on the bottle too. That's interesting. I would walk by this wine and think it was California.
Yeah, it's a big shock to a lot of people. Basically, California's run out of juice due to the Sideways phenomenon. And now they're going to France, they're going to Germany, they're going to Italy to get juice because they got to satisfy that American need.
Amazing. Okay, let's talk about the wine.
Okay.
The color looks, I mean, you could say Burgundian. It's not deep.
No.
And it's
very light colored.
Very light colored, almost, not that much, but almost like a crimson brick red. Mm-hmm. And it's got, well, let's see its legs. Legs are almost not there.
Yeah,
They're quick.
this is a very simple version.
Very simple version.
Very simple version.
And the nose, very slight. I have to find sugar beet.
Yes.
I have to find it. Am I right?
You are right. You are right. You have a very good palate.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You have a very good palate.
I just wanted to hear you say it twice.
No, okay, good.
Anyway, so let's taste this, and we have our bucket.
Okay.
You're going to have to excuse us when you see us reaching for the bucket and spitting, because that's what you do when you taste the wines. Otherwise, you can get in a lot of trouble. So we're going to be spitting it out and tasting it. Meanwhile, the taste is in the mouth. Describe the taste.
Very light, very undistinguished. You know, it's Turning Leaf. Turning Leaf makes very value-branded wines from California. And this one, I think it needs another half an hour of air, and it'll change, and it'll become a lot nicer.
Very little.
But it's not very good up front. Up front, most people who would buy this or taste it in a restaurant would, say,
New bottle. Yeah,
next bottle, please.
I agree. So let's do that.
Okay. Let's go on to our next bottle.
Next bottle of wine. Okay, so I'm going to give this back to you if you can put it there.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, where are we going? So now we just left Fals, Germany.
Yep.
And now we're going to where?
We're going to Echelon.
Echelon. Okay. So now this is from the Ile du Beauté and Vin du Pays, wines of the countryside, from France.
Yes.
Okay. So the wine is called Echelon. Well, Echelon is a California company.
Yes, it's another big California brand that has switched over to France wine because of the impending,
Again,
need for
same
more
circumstance, more juice.
More juice.
Okay. Now, this wine looks a little deeper in color, and certainly more deeper crimson.
Deeper crimson's a good call.
Oh! Now I've got wonderful nose.
Yeah, you can smell something there. Huh?
Yeah. Now I'm getting some nice sugar beets, almost like candy cane, but sweet. Sweet candy cane.
Maybe a light note of strawberry in there?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I use as my sweet candy cane. Strawberry.
Okay.
Strawberry.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Well, this is Vin du Pays, and it's got a lower sugar content in it than normal California Pinot Noir. So a lot of people who are associated with Echelon, when they taste this wine, they go, oh, that's not Echelon. And the reason is, if you have to look for the fine print that it says Vin du Pays.
Like with the Turning Leaf to say Germany.
A lot of people are tricked.
Absolutely, because the French don't have the same kind of heat that California wines have. Heat means more sugar, sweeter wine, and more alcohol. And the French are more like our Long Island wines.
Right, they want it more restrained, more subtle.
Right.
And more of like a food wine. So, but it throws people off who would normally go for this wine. We want a more...
Delicious wine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is delicious. Very nice wine. And we're not going to get into costs or anything right now, but this is absolutely wonderful. This is very nice. Immediately, you get your flavor, and you got it in the back of your mouth also. You agree? I'm talking to him while he's got wine in his mouth.
Yeah.
But you agree.
Most people talk to me when I have wine in my mouth.
But that's like really terrific.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful one. This is more like what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went from Germany, we went to France.
Yep.
And Vin du Pays is usually considered among their lowest, the wines of the countryside.
Wines of the countryside, exactly.
And it's kind of like, I don't mean that it's a bad wine, but that's on the French have the listing of their quality of wine.
Exactly.
And that's like at the bottom of the rung.
That's the bottom rung.
It's not a bad wine.
It's not a bad wine.
Not at all. Now, talk about the rung.
Now we're going up a rung.
We're going up a rung. Okay. Chasson Montrachet, Premier Cru. From, obviously, this is from France, and this is a wine that comes from the Burgundy region, which is famous for what grape? Red.
Red is Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
White is Chardonnay.
White is Chardonnay. Okay, so now, this wine, classically, should have more body, should have more nose, should have more everything in the mouth.
Should have everything.
And I didn't taste it yet. And I'm even looking at the color. The color, again, is deeper. Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot, but deeper than the Echelon.
And this is traditionally a more, old world style of wine than a new world kind of wine.
Would you kindly explain what you mean by that so my viewer can appreciate what you're saying?
Well, old world is European, more food-friendly wines, more meant to be with the meal. Whereas New World is more California, Australia, which are more fruit-driven. Chile, yes. A lot of
Fruit-driven.
A few others. More fruit-driven.
In
more,
your face.
More for sitting around and drinking with, like you'd drink vodka by itself, or martini.
Right.
You drink, wine.
Right, right. And slowly but surely, that New World wine is just engulfing and taking over Old World wine.
It's taken over the wine business completely.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Oh. Interesting. More intensity, yet delicacy. This wine certainly can age, no question about it. But the one thing that's missing from this, I don't get, which I love, I don't get any barnyardy.
No, not yet.
I like, okay.
No.
Okay.
I think it'll come out after a little bit more aeration. We just opened this bottle, and it's not totally there yet, but it will get there. There's another note, just for your viewers, is that Chassagne Montrachet, most people who go into a wine store or a restaurant looking for a Chassagne Montrachet are going to find a white wine. This is a very rare phenomenon, a red wine from Chassagne.
I was gonna ask you and discuss that with you, because I was very surprised when I saw that you brought that, and I went, oh, you brought a white. Then immediately that comes to mind, because that's their brand, that's their famous name, the Chassagne Montrachet. But I was very surprised. It's an elegant wine, it's a lovely wine. It's structured nicely, and you could see the difference. So we're still in France.
Yes, we are.
We're still in France.
Yep.
Okay, so now I just love the nose on this thing. It's a lovely.
It's a wine that makes you want to smell it more and more.
Absolutely, that's the beauty of it. It's this isn't a beverage. This is an experience.
It is.
It's all the senses, Can you put that back, please?
I will, definitely.
Okay, now you blew me away with this next bottle.
Oh yeah, okay.
You blew me away with this,
Well,
and maybe you want to dump that.
Yes, I will.
And even the color is different. Tell us a little bit about this wine, Ted.
Well, now we're going to Italy. Italy Pinot Noir, up in Alto Adige, from a great winemaker, Hofstadter. Makes a lot of great whites, and his little-known reds are gathering a lot of worldwide attention.
Now, hold on a second. Is it pronounced Hofstadter?
It probably should be. You're right.
This does not sound like an Italian name to me.
No. Well, I have a saying, if you buy it, you can pronounce it any way you want. But this is a nice wine. This is not your common Pinot Noir. It's probably going to be more like the French one, but with more acid, I think. We'll see. What do you smell?
Man, oh man. If you gave this wine to me, blindly, I tasted this, in a million years I would not say Pinot Noir.
No.
And they call it Pinot Nero. So the Noir is French for black, and Nero is black Italian, right? Pinot Nero. But Blauburgunder, explain.
Well, they're right up next to Germany and Austria, and that's the Austrian or German term for Pinot Noir is Blauburgunder.
So you got Blauburgunder and Hofstadter. I like this wine a lot, but not as a Pinot Noir. I like it just as the taste that I'm getting. What is the taste in this thing? The nose is faintly Pinot Noirish, faintly.
It's got a little more of that barnyardy thing that I think you were looking for in the Chassagne.
I like that.
Now you're getting it in this wine.
I like that. I like that. That always impressed me.
It's a nice wine. It's something different.
It's a wonderful wine.
It's fun when people order different things at the dinner table.
Oh, this would be a real treat. It'd be a lot of fun. I do a lot of work, as you know, in tasting and having on my show a lot of Long Island winemakers. So when I have them over for dinner, they bring wines over, but we never open them. And I always serve wines that they don't know. And I always like to just blow them away. This would be one that would absolutely blow them away.
Yes.
This is a wonderful wine that I could see with nice light meat fare, even more heavier meat fare.
Yeah, it's a good food wine.
I can see this with roast chicken, with roast duck. It's a good wine, and it's total different spin on Burgundy.
It's not what you would normally expect to taste, yet it's very enjoyable. Sometimes the unexpected is something to enjoy.
06, no less.
Yes.
This wine's got some legs on it. This wine can last. It's wonderful. Okay, so you put this back, kind sir?
Sure.
Let's go to Carneros, Napa Valley. Carneros, famous for its Chardonnays, And their Pinots.
And their Pinots, yes. A cooler climate region of the Napa Valley. So Pinot Noirs are gaining wild recognition over there.
So just to tell my viewer, Pinot Noirs do very well in cooler climates.
Absolutely, because it's a thinner skinned grape, and it definitely benefits from a cooler growing season.
Interesting. Okay, so this is a Truchard, and interesting, 13.9%.
Yep.
And the Hofstadter was what percent? Curiosity. It says on the back?
13.5.
13.5. And the rest probably is somewhere between 12 and 13.
Yeah, 13.3.
Really?
The French one was, well, we'll have to check that out.
Okay.
It doesn't say.
All right.
Oh, it does say. 13.8.
Wow,
Yeah, you're right.
really?
They're all in the 13s.
Right. Interesting.
13% on the turning leaf.
You see now, the way New World wines have taken over, as you said.
Absolutely.
I stick my nose in this, and this is what I've come to know as Pinot Noir.
Yes.
This nose is very typical. The fruit just comes right up and grabs your honker and shoves it right in there, and you're smelling it like crazy.
Right.
This is sharp sugar beets, sharp raspberries, ooh, a little bit of green, a little bit of mint in the nose, the smallest amount.
Yep.
Very small to give it a little bit of spice.
Right. Well, that's because they put a whole cluster in there. They don't just pick the grapes off. They put the stems in there too,
So
which
you're
give
getting
it
the
a
green.
slight bit amount of herbiness and greenness.
Yeah.
that
Normally
throws
I don't
some
like
people
it,
off,
but it goes.
It creates acidity and allows the wine to age beautifully.
This certainly is a fabulous. It smells well crafted. It's amazing. The only thing missing is that barnyardiness.
It's very jammy, very ripe.
Jammy. That's a good way of saying. Oh, yummy wine. And you're so on the money when you say
It's a hard
you
wine
can
to
take.
spit.
Yeah, it's a hard wine to spit. I was thinking the exact same thing. It's too good. It's too good. Flavor is superb. You could sit around with this with friends and just sip this and enjoy.
All day.
Maybe have a little bit of cheese. This would be excellent with it.
Yeah.
Excellent with it.
It's a great crowd pleaser.
Absolutely. It's amazing how we discussed this earlier.
It's beautiful.
I think it was 1977, not 70. Was it 74 or 77? That famous tasting.
74.
I think it was 77.
Or maybe it was in 70,
77
it was
because they
74
just
vintage
celebrated.
wines, I believe.
They just celebrated its 40th or 30th anniversary because I was with Mike Gergich in his home.
Okay,
And
great.
I filmed a show with him.
Oh, terrific.
And his wine was the
He's a
Chateau
wonderful
Montelena.
gentleman, yes.
Ah, terrific. So since that 30 years ago, when that wine tasting changed the world, let me just let you know a quick secret. About 30 years ago, I think it was, 30 years ago, a wine tasting was done in Paris where a whole bunch of California wines were stacked up against a whole bunch of French wines. And the judges were all French. And and up until that date, France ruled the world of wine. And until that date, the winners were American wines. And the French were so devastated by it. From that day on, the world of wine had changed. And it opened up, and everybody realized that wine could be had throughout the planet. And it could be made really well, not just that special soil in France. It's a perfect example of it.
It's a great example of it.
Oh, amazing Pinot Noir. Great fruit, not grape, but great.
Right.
Great fruit, terrific. And you know what? It's there, but it's not cloying.
Right. It's very balanced.
Very balanced, very nice.
And if you compare this wine to the Chassagne Montrachet, which we just had, that's kind of like the way they used to make it. This is the way they make it in America.
And I can see the way people would be running for this.
Absolutely.
Just absolutely terrific. Now we're going to one of my favorite places in the world. Same grape. We're going all over the world, and we're getting a different wine. And so you now have Peregrine Pinot Noir from New Zealand, from Central Otago.
Yes.
And I did a TV show down there, and love the wines from New Zealand. They're just terrific, and they're working so hard at it. Yes. Color, look at nice deep color. Central Otago is cool place, so you get
another place
growing.
that's trying to challenge Burgundy for dominance in the Pinot Noir world. And Central Otago's taken a big step up. It's a really top-class Pinot coming out of that region. Unfortunately, there are not too many affordable ones right now, but they're really making strides. This is a wonderful, wonderful red.
Now, this nose on this wine is not to be believed.
Yeah.
The nose on this has what the Truchard had as far as the California, and then it starts to put in the barnyardiness. That kind of, you know.
Pinot Nero? A little bit of the Pinot Nero earthiness?
Yes, yes, but just on the nose. I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh, okay.
Just on the nose. I haven't tasted it yet.
Okay.
And, you know, someone listening is going to say, barnyardy, what is this guy, nuts? But, you know, explain what I'm talking about when I say barnyardy.
Well, it smells like a place. It smells like the place, you know, that the grapes are grown, the hillside, the rocks and the terroir, and walking through the vineyard, and just that kind of place smell in a wine makes it unique to the people who are really into wine.
So when they bottle this, they're also bottling a part of the place.
They are.
In essence.
In
And when you
essence.
smell it, you really feel as if you're there.
Yep.
As opposed to just smelling a beverage.
Exactly.
You know, and that's wonderful. I like that. I like that.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been to that region, if you've visited there, and all you have to do, and I'm sure you're doing this right now, is when you smell this wine, it brings back all the memories of you being there,
You got that.
who you were with, how great a time you were having, and that's the magic of wine.
Bah. Oh, the sheep. 3 to 4 million people and 60, 70 million sheep.
I'm sure some emus too. I never got to New Zealand, but I went to Australia next door.
Good God.
Wonderful wine.
Wonderful wine. Incredible wine. Oh, my God. And you know what? Still tannin. Still tannic. Notice I spit it out. But still tannic. You can't. I don't know how you're able to spit that out. This is an
beautiful
amazing
wine.
bottle of wine.
It is glorious.
Oh, my God. The flavors. It just... And look
they
at the
go
legs
on
on
and
it.
on and on and
Look at the
on.
legs. The wine is... You see, one of the things about a good bottle of wine is that when you swirl it around the glass and then let it go, and I don't know if you can get in there. I don't know if my cameraman can get into that glass. But when you get into that glass and you get in deeper, I'll come back up. You keep doing that, though. Okay, here we go. I do this. Now back up. Now you're going to see that, say, here we go. I'll point to it right over here. You can see that's some of the wine, and it's dripping inside, and the wine is so viscous, so viscous, so much body in it, so much glycerin, that the wine is just kind of like falling down and shows the body. Thank you. And it just fills the mouth up. You know, it's wonderful.
And you can taste that viscosity in your mouth because it hits all sides of your tongue with all sorts of wonderful
You know
flavor.
something? I would have this with lamb, and usually I like to have a nice Rhone type wine with lamb. This would go great with lamb because it's got a bit of that earthiness to it that cuts through roasted meats. You know, this would be great with duck.
Would be great with duck. Yep.
This would be great with a peanut butter sandwich. No, I'm only kidding.
Now you're going a little far, Doc. Trying to get some dental fees in there, huh?
Ain't that the tooth? Don't gum it up.
Okay, all right.
Enough
We're
of this.
good.
We get to the root of the problem here.
Back to wine.
Now back to wine. Oh, amazing nose, just amazing. How would you describe it after you finish spitting? How would you describe this?
Just everything you said, barnyardy, full-bodied, very smooth, delicate. Yeah, wonderful wine.
And yet elegant.
And yet elegant, yeah.
Elegant in a rough kind of way.
I think Burgundy's got to be worried about tasting some of these wines.
Oh God, it's amazing. It's like a velvet harpoon, you know. It's amazing. So now we've got. We're coming back to the U.S. and we're going to another major Pinot region.
Yes.
Where are we going? What region?
We're going to Oregon,
We're going to Oregon. Okay.
the Willamette Valley,
Okay.
which has really also worked their way up the ladder
Oh yeah.
towards the French and challenging dominance to French wine. It's a cooler growing region, so they get a much more interesting wine than I think California provides at this time. Californians are a little bit more jammy, although that Truchard was a beautiful, beautiful example.
Beautiful wine.
Beautiful example. Sometimes the California ones become a little too much, but in Oregon, it's nice and cool, and these wines are just wonderful, wonderful wines. You could put these away; they age beautifully.
Oh, the nose. Now the nose is very, very French.
Yes. Well, this is a French producer,
Joseph Drouin.
Joseph Drouin,
And this is his daughter. Oh, Domaine Drouin. I think his daughter runs it.
his daughter runs it, and she's in Oregon. And it's a great way to build your business. Do what you can do in France, and then send your kids over to the U.S. to build the business.
Worked for Rothschild, even though,
Yeah.
he took his
Worked
kids.
for a lot of families.
See, if I closed my eyes, I would think this was French.
Yes. That's the beauty of Oregon.
Oh, so different than every single wine before it. There is eucalyptus or mint, a little bit of it in this. A little bit of it. And I guess it's exactly from what you said earlier, putting the whole bunches in with the stems and everything else.
Yeah, that's usually what gives it the acidity.
You could taste the acidity in this wine, too. You can
Absolutely.
feel it.
Absolutely.
Lovely wine, but it's interesting. This wine is too young.
It is too young.
This wine needs, because the fruit's there, but it's being held back.
Yes.
Being held back, no question about it. This is fascinating. After we drink the next wine, then I have what I want to say about the grape and everything else around the world.
Great.
Do you like this?
I do like this. I definitely do.
And this is a wine, if you get this wine, you stick it in your cellar.
I would suggest
and you wait
you
a year
do
or so.
yes. Yeah.
Right, at
Maybe
least.
3 years.
Bravo.
Because then
Bravo.
they become much more elegant.
Right, I agree. I agree.
Or maybe buy a case and then taste a bottle each year.
Right,
And
by
you
the
tell
time it's
me-
ready,
You
you-
tell me when it's ready.
Right, I tell you, right. I know your methods. All right, dump that, you. And now we got connoisseur. Oh, I like this. This
Another-
is from what area of the world is this?
South America.
Look at the color on this wine.
This is a wonderful wine out
Oh,
of
we got
Chile.
about 2 minutes left. So this is a wine out of Chile. We got 2 minutes left.
Connoisseur.
Right.
Great little wine out of the Casablanca Valley in Chile.
They make
And
great
another
wines.
great interpretation of Pinot Noir.
Well, let's see.
They give it a little new oak aging.
Oh, the nose is so different than all the others. I'm getting a little petrol in here. In the nose. Wow.
Eucalyptus.
Whoa, eucalyptus. Good acid.
Great
Good
acid.
tingles on the tongue.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Very intense.
Very intense wine. What is this? Oh, what? Oh, 6. Oh, this one's got to be put away.
You could, but I think it's drinking good enough to
It
be
is
on the
drinking
table
good.
with some salmon tonight.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not having salmon tonight, but this got, but an amazing bottle of wine. Absolutely amazing bottle of wine. Now we got about a minute left.
Uh-oh.
Here's the concept.
Sure.
The concept is we went through thousands of miles from place to place. We went from Chile to France, then we went to New Zealand, then we went to Oregon, then we went to California, then we went to Italy, we went back to France, we went all over the place here. And we tasted the same grape, grown in different soils, with different people making it from different cultures.
Absolutely.
And I'm a firm believer that wine is a product of the culture and of the people who are producing it. You don't just stick it in the ground and come back and say, okay, it's ready, squeeze it and pour me a glass. Ain't gonna work. Interesting that Joseph Drouin, which is French, but he makes it in Oregon, his wine has more French undertones to it.
Exactly.
And so it's interesting. In 20 seconds, what did you get out of this tasting?
Well, the lines are blurred between New World and Old World, in my opinion.
Okay.
We set out to provide like 4 Old World examples, 4 New World examples, and they're all very interesting on their own.
The New World, the fruit is so intense. The Old World, the fruit is sotto voce, very quiet, very
Right.
soft, and very. It's there, but you know, if you're used to this, which is what's dominating the world of wine right now, just amazing. Ted, you're going to come back again?
I will come back again.
Okay, my friend, put
Thank
it
you,
there.
Dr. Passes.
Ted Clark, wine consultant to the world, to the stars. And I want to thank my good friend Nick Poulos for courteously providing all these wines for us from Pop's Wines and Spirits. Thank you very much, Nick. So we got to go now. We're out of time. See you again the next time. And just like my friend, good friend Ted Clark, whatever you do it with passion, or what does it matter?